Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog and welcome back to a continuation of that last video that we pulled the engine out of the C6. If you watched the intro to this video, we struggled for a while to get that engine and everything bolted up to that stand. Had to go to Tractor Supply like twice to get different bolts, nuts, combination of such to get that thing bolted to this engine stand. But we did get the clutch, everything off of it. That is the clutch off of the LS2. Unfortunately, they said it had a Monster LT1S, and I think that is a factory Lux/GM clutch. It does have Monster little spacers between the pressure plate and the flywheel. Not exactly sure what that's about. I don't think that is a Monster. I don't think it's a Monster clutch, because I think they're green anyway. But we do have the LS2 bolted up to the engine stand, so we're going to start disassembling this. As soon as I take something off of this, put it over on the new engine. That way nothing really gets misplaced. The big thing is the sensors have to go in the same place, so that is a big thing, is keeping those sensors in the exact same place. So if I take something off of this one, it's going straight onto that one. I may kind of clean it up a little bit because we do have that engine looking so good, and stuff like these motor mounts and everything kind of look a little bad. So we'll see what we can do. Maybe hit these with some degreaser or maybe just some black paint real quick. Alright guys, so first time-lapse break. We finally have the engine pulley off. That was an absolute pain to get off of there. I ended up having to use like a crow's foot and a 3-jaw puller to get that pulley off. The funny thing is the crank is keyed. So this car, like I said, has probably definitely seen boost at some point, which kind of leads me to believe that it is going to be ring failure that caused all the issues. So I'm going to put you guys back on the stand and start disassembling everything else. We need this front cover for our new engine, as well as the cam sensor and everything as far as windage tray and all of that goes. I don't have the oil pump on the new one because I've been waiting for the pickup tube from this one, because there is an O-ring in there that we need to figure out exactly what color that thing is, because apparently that can cause some major issues. Let's keep going. Let's pull this front cover off and then we will start working on the bottom end. Alright guys, so it is the next day. My camera died on that last time lapse, but we did get everything out of the block. Luckily, the block is absolutely fine. Lifter bores were fine, lifters were fine, didn't find any issue there. Didn't really find any issue anywhere until we looked at the pistons. The funny thing is, this over here is the driver's side bank, and that's how they were in the car. That cylinder was low on compression, that one was low on compression, that one was fine, and that one's low on compression. So what did we find? I brought the pistons over here, and at first glance, everything looks okay. Even the rings look okay, so it really threw me when I was looking these pistons over of why in the world they lost compression. That was until the ring lands were busted. Completely out of the piston. Don't know how it happened, and it's weird because it's almost like it happened at the same spot on every one of the pistons. But the car ran perfectly. Like, there was no damage, nothing else except for the ring lands being busted. And like I said, it was pretty much the same on each of these. Busted ring land. And same place on this one. So we have 3 busted ring lands. I think that's what you call those, ring lands, at the same exact place, pretty much the same exact size on all 3 of these pistons. So I assume, I mean, I would have to argue that that's why they lost compression. But like I said, the driver's side bank over here looked absolutely perfect. No scars, no scratches, no nothing. Completely smooth cylinder bores. No crap through the motor. None of that. Everything looked fine. The crank looked fine. All of that. So it kind of shocked me. But it's so weird that only those 3 did it. All on the same bank. And everything else was fine. Like I said, it kind of shocked me. So that is what happened to the LS2 that came out of the C6. All the bearings were fine. Every bearing looked perfect. Main bearings, rod bearings, everything. Everything looked perfect. So I have talked to a few people that suggest that my thought that this car was boosted before is probably right, and those were probably broke well before my ownership. I've owned the car for about 2.5 years, but I would say about 6 months of this year it has been down with the engine, and a year prior to that when we did the paint, wide body, and all of that. So the car really has only been driven about a year, and that's been about 3,000 total miles. When I first got it, it was smoking a little bit on decel, and we thought it was valve seals, so that's when we did the cam and everything. Now looking back, I don't know if that was the true cause of it, just because of this. The crank is keyed and all of that. It's got an 8-rib pulley on it, so it's had to be boosted. Down in the comments, do you all think that that car was boosted given that it had the 8-rib pulley and a keyed crank? Because I don't think you would do that just for fun. I'm glad we finally kind of unmasked what happened to that engine, because I was so confused because it was running so perfectly minus the smoke, and I would have never really known anything was wrong until that happened and we did a compression test on it. Now I'm just flabbergasted is probably the best word for this situation. That is all that happened, because I could have swore it was going to be rings. So I don't know. So anyway, next steps, probably 2 videos from now, we're going to transfer everything over to the LS3. The oil pan, the windage tray, the oil pump. Well, we got a new oil pump. The pickup tube, all of that we will be transferring over to the LS3 from the LS2, including all of the sensors, and she should be ready to go back in. So I'm getting really freaking excited that Blucifer is going to be back on the road very, very soon. Christmas is coming up this coming weekend, so that's going to put a little damper on it. Maybe we'll have a New Year's Eve engine install party, I guess we could call it. So anyway, if you guys like this build so far, hit that big thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're growing at a pretty decent rate now that I'm posting pretty consistently, which is, you know, crazy that happens. But anyway, thank you guys for the support thus far, and I will see you guys on the next video, which should be installing the intake and the first start on the FRS and A6 project. See ya.